let's have a serious conversation about the domestic violence amongst athletes and their significant others and what it truly means to date someone of this caliber in this specific field of work. First things first, to the men specifically. When women come out and accuse men of either sexual assault or domestic violence, I want you guys to stop and take a second, and instead of your first reaction being, that's my friend, that's so and so, I know him, he would never do that. I need you to understand that people that think that they aren't being watched in the privacy of their own home will do things that they would never do publicly. That's kind of the whole premise of the issue. We already know when it comes to dating, both men and women act differently in public with their significant other than they do when it's just them and their significant other. That is like a known thing. So logically, the whole, well, he wouldn't do that, he wouldn't do that. You wouldn't know if he wouldn't do that because one, you're not in his dating pool, and two, he's actively taking every step possible to avoid you knowing this information about him. Domestic violence, sexual assault, these things are done in intimate settings and most importantly, private settings. You cannot vouch for someone when you don't know what they do in their privacy when they think that no one is watching. To the ladies, dating an athlete, collegiate, professional, etc., means that you are dating a man that has typically not been told no a lot in their lifetime. They are not used to being told no. Dating an athlete means that you're dating someone that has typically had everything done for them up to this point in their life. Their laundry is done for them. Their meals are prepared for them. Their college schedules are done for them. Their adult schedules are made for them. These are people that don't have to really exert much energy, to as much energy as the average person, to do things and for things to just like happen in their life, right? Then you combine all of that and you add in that you're dating someone with access to a substantial amount of money, but most importantly, you are dating someone that trains twice a day and could really cause great harm and great damage to you if they pleased. If that's what they wanted to do, that would be an easy feat for them. Then add in, this is football specific, add in the fact that these people are being hit directly in the head frequently. Then you take the fact that the average man, athlete or not, does not have the emotional intelligence of the average woman. It's not a good mixture. So you have all these things coinciding at once. You have these overly strong men, you have these emotionally intelligent men, and then you have these entitled men that have access to a lot of money and thus have access to lawyers, and in their past have been the exception to many rules. They don't have to follow the rules of the average person, okay? This is what I mean. This is a recipe for disaster. Now, specifically about the James Pearce Jr. incident and his abuse towards Rickea Jackson, allegedly. Let's break down the situation. James Pearce Jr. is right now being accused of stalking and harassing Rickea Jackson to the point where she felt it necessary to physically flee the home and physically go up to the police station. And in an attempt to stop her from going to the police station, this man ran his vehicle into hers. He's physically doing everything in his power to stop her from going to the police station. So he has repeatedly hit and wrecked both his and her vehicles. Upon the police catching wind of this, they are trying to stop him, whatever, and then a police chase ensues, right? This man is evading the police. He's running from the police. When the police catch him, he is actively fighting multiple officers. There's like 4 or 5 officers on top of this man. I would encourage everyone to go look at the video. And I need you guys to understand the severity of this. If this man has crashed his vehicle into this girl's car to stop her from going to the police, and he is running from police and has caused a police chase, and then when the police catch him, he's still actively fighting multiple male police officers, please think about what he was doing in privacy to that girl in the privacy of their home. If this is how he's acting in public, I cannot fathom how he was acting in private. Now, before this incident occurred, Rickea Jackson would post on her social media platform saying that she's single, but then fans would see James Pearce Jr. in the stands. This kind of, when I'm thinking, it coincides with the harassment charge, but let me not assume. Sometimes when people break up, there's a lot of on and off. So you have that situation. On top of, Rickea Jackson has recently if you pay attention to WNBA, she was out for 2 weeks and it was listed as personal reasons. So all of these things coinciding together and the timing of it all, it makes you think, what all was that woman dealing with in the privacy of her home? Like, this man was putting her through hell. I just went back and looked at the video of his arrest, and it was 7 officers attempting to arrest this man, and he's fighting everybody. It took 7 officers to get this man under control and put him in handcuffs. And I want y'all to know what this means and how severe this is. This man was abusing a public figure. And I know you're saying, like, oh, well, it doesn't matter who they're abusing, but I want you to think about this. He's actively abusing someone that is a public figure. This woman has access to money. She has a lot more resources than the average person does just because of the position she's in. But he's abusing someone that's regularly on camera. He did not care if she showed up with bruises or broken, whatever the case may be. It never crossed his mind like, hey, she can't be in public seen with this because I'm going to get in trouble. He has abused this woman to the point where he's not even thinking about his own well-being. That's how crazy the situation is. And if this is what a celebrity is going through, understand it would be 100 times worse for a regular woman without those resources, without the money, and without the public attention, okay? That is how severe this is. It's already severe for this celebrity, but it would be 10 times worse for a regular woman that didn't have access to these things. Now, I'm a tall girl, so when it comes to dating, it can be a little difficult for me to find men that are taller than me, right? And so the question comes up often. People ask, well, Jordan, why you need to date an athlete? Why don't you date athletes? That is why I don't date athletes. I will not do that. I've seen too much, and just thinking of the statistics and the data and the likelihood that I could end up in that situation, because this is an issue that is more prevalent amongst this group of people, I want no parts. Now, like I said, this is not conducive of all athletes. It's not even all football players. It's not all basketball players. But because of the circumstances and how these people have gone through life, like I mentioned before, not being told no often and having access to a lot of things and just always being the exception to rules, those things being in place increase the opportunities and the chances that an athlete would act in such a way. And so for my sanity, that is why I do not date athletes. As always, what are you guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments below.